terrifying guy in the season.
Perhaps he's really busting his ass because he was like, "Hey, I'm the only guy left that they didn't trade."
Right? Yeah. He's like, please don't get rid of me. You guys trusted me. I better do something. Brooke Lopez at 31 years old for the Bucks.
Grizzled veteran.
Why
Brooke
is he
Lopez.
playing?
Why not, dude?
Because he's a key player for the fucking Bucks.
He's not a technically. I mean, dude, they have so many big men. He's not.
That's true.
He's a good player for the Bucks,
Mhm.
but come on, man. Brooke Lopez is always. Both of the Lopez brothers have always been. Brooke being, I guess, like the more level-headed one.
Right.
They're always about just fucking playing basketball. You know.
And they love Disney. They
Do
both
they?
do. Yeah, they tweet about it.
Oh, that's
It's
weird.
Brooke or Robin, one of the two, maybe both.
I love Robin. He's crazy.
Yeah, I do too. Kyle Lowry at 33 years old just got done with the finals.
Now, I'm actually very surprised that he stayed.
Yeah.
I actually am very surprised that he stayed.
Chris Middleton at 27
Love
for the
it.
Bucks.
Love it.
Donovan Mitchell for the Jazz. That dude's good.
Dude. Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to get in on this because this is going to be a little bit of a sidetrack, but I want your opinion on this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, we've seen Donovan Mitchell come pretty strong onto superstardom
Yeah.
on the NBA. We've also seen Giannis
Right.
come up. Who do you think is going to be better throughout their entire career when it's all said and done?
Are we saying they're both healthy?
Both healthy.
Giannis.
You think so?
He's just got a game changer skill set. He's so big. He's so long. He's so freakishly athletic. He can shoot. He can score. He's a great defender. He's a 3-tool player.
You just described Donovan Mitchell.
Right. But the difference is, what is Giannis, like almost 7 foot?
Yeah, but at the same time, look at it this way, though.
And the other thing is, Donovan Mitchell's a guard in a league where there's a million guards.
Right.
Like, everybody's a guard that's great. There's not a lot of big men that are that good. Giannis
Right.
plays the 3.
Giannis does play the 3. The thing is though, my argument would be Donovan Mitchell is a guard where,
Right.
it's oversaturated with guards that are
Yeah,
incredible, but yet he still is that tier above most guards at such
Right.
a young age.
Right, at 22, 23?
It's unheard of, dude.
To be that good this young, yeah.
He's incredible.
How many years out of Kentucky is he now? Can't be more than a couple years.
Oh, goodness,
Or
I'm
out of
not
Louisville,
sure.
I'm sorry.
Not Kentucky. He was not a one and done.
Well, I mean, technically out of the state of Kentucky.
He's 22 now. I don't know how many years. I think it's going to be his 3rd year.
Cameron's definitely going to correct us.
Oh,
in his text
God,
message.
yes,
He can't
he is.
wait. You're welcome, bud.
We set him up for it. But I did want to get your opinion on that. I think I would agree with you
Mhm.
that Giannis does have just raw talent,
Sure.
and that kind of would put him above Donovan. I'm telling you, man, I'm really, really excited to see this race as they continue on throughout and progress throughout the league, because we're getting to see these two fantastic players,
Right.
both come into their own, barring any injury. I think that it's going to be an MVP race between Donovan Mitchell and
Right.
Giannis in the next, 4 or 5 years.
It all depends on how the league changes too. Like, that's a topic for another day probably. But if the league just transitioned, Mike D'Antoni, he created the three in 7 seconds or less, whatever, with the
Right.
Suns, and so the league has permanently changed from that almost 15 years ago.
Right.
Now we're starting to see some teams focus on defense. The Raptors winning based mostly on the fact that they were a great defensive team is probably going to have an effect on the league, and with the Warriors dynasty breaking up. So if it gets to the point where we need more Dwayne Wade type players, more Michael Jordan type guards, and Kobe even, like those 3 guards are like kind of, I can't think of any more big name 2 guards that were that good, that were on both sides of the ball, at least in recent memory, other than D Wade and Kobe, really.
Yeah.
But if we get back to needing those kind of guards,
Those are
then
the most
he's
popular
huge.
ones for sure.
Right.
In recent memory,
Right.
There's a couple of other guys that, pardon me, that were definitely great on both sides of the ball.
Right.
But in
Not
terms of
dynamic like that,
superstardom,
though.
yeah, Kobe and D Wade are always going to be the first 2 that come to mind.
Yeah, for sure. Mason Plumlee's here at 29, still on the Denver Nuggets. I didn't actually know that. Marcus Smart, I cannot stand seeing a roster with Marcus Smart on there.
What do you think about him?
I can't stand his game.
Why?
I think he's terrible. I don't think he's terrible. He's in the league and
One
has
of my
been for a long
all-time
time.
favorite moments
Mhm.
in recent memory in the NBA is when Marcus Smart gave James Harden a dose of his own medicine and was flopping around harder than Harden was.
Oh, boy.
And Harden got teed up at the very end of the game. No, he didn't. I apologize. He didn't get teed up. I'm incorrect. He got 2 straight foul calls on him to lose the game.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And then I'll let you take over the last of the roster here. But then the last of the roster shakes out pretty nicely.
Dude. Okay, I'm a big Jason Tatum
I am too.
truther. I think he's the truth.
And he's
really
very
do.
young.
Yeah, I really, really like what I saw when Kyrie was injured and Boston made the playoffs.
Yeah.
I think we all got to see him kind of come into his own shine a bit. With Kyrie being away from Boston, I think that he's going to take the team on his shoulders. I think he is a superstar in the making. We got PJ Tucker, dude, 34 vet. You know exactly what you're going to get out of him every single game. PJ Tucker is a fantastic fucking basketball player. We have Miles Turner, young guy out of Indiana. I like him.
I like Miles Turner
him
too.
a lot.
Yeah.
I like to see. I didn't like to see him over at UT, but I like how his game has progressed so far.
Yeah.
In the league. Then we got Kemba.
Yeah, I'm a big Kemba guy.
Dude.
Big Kemba guy.
Kemba is Kemba.
Right.
He 29, just now, newly signed Boston Celtic. I'm really, really interested to see this because we have quite a few Boston Celtics. And you mentioned this earlier. We have quite a few Boston Celtics on this team. The fact that Kemba is on this national team, I think, is going to help the Celtics throughout the season.
Yeah, it helps Tatum and Kyrie, Kemba figure it out. Yeah.
We have Derek White.
Right. Don't know anything about him.
I think he was my Uber driver when I was in San Antonio.
He looks like an Uber driver I had when I was in Las Vegas, actually.
Yeah. The staff, though, I think is where it really does come together. So everyone knows that in terms of this roster that we just went through, it's not the best that we've ever had.
Right.
But we have high expectations being from U.S.
Yeah, our expectations are always through the roof because
U.S. basketball
we have the
team
best
always
basketball.
Yeah, for sure. You look at this roster, they're very young.
Right.
You sprinkle in a couple of veterans in there. Brooke Lopez, I think, is going to be a huge asset just for locker room.
Yeah, him and PJ Tucker probably.
100%.
PJ Tucker's your toughness.
Yep. I think they're going to establish a kind of like chip on the shoulder, like dominant defensive side of the ball, which I think is what they're going to have to bank on. This team, this team is going to have to bank on that. There's of course going to be the offense there, but with Pop being the head coach, and then you have Steve Kerr as the assistant.
Them reunited. Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Like you could throw me and you out there, and Pop and Steve Kerr could at least have us get a bronze.
Right.
Like these guys are amazing.
So the thing that I love about this is before we look at the roster, and I'm glad we didn't actually look all the way through the roster yet before we start talking about it. So you talked about Miles, playoff runs, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. This roster absolutely makes us look like assholes for saying that before we went through it because there's so many guys that are on here that are either A, older, or B, are going to be on teams that make deep runs. Like your Celtic guys, we don't know. We don't know how deep of a run they're going to make. They're probably going to make a one and done because they got to figure it out.
But at the same time, dude, like we're talking superstars. They're wanting to take care of their bodies.
Right.
You know, that was the argument. It's not necessarily just like all playoff, teams. You know, all the players off of playoff teams. But I'm talking about the big name superstars that are going to be getting these max contracts.
I got you.
Right?
Yeah.
They're going to take care of their own. They're not going to risk an injury like Paul George had because realistically, when he had that injury, was he not going to get paid? He was, dude.
Yeah, he was going to get big time paid.
He was going to get a max contract.
Yeah.
And everyone saw that happening. So I think that there's a pivot with all of these superstars of like, you know what? I would love to win a gold medal.
Sure.
But a lot of these guys already have.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
A lot of them have.
So let's bring in the young bloods and let them win.
I mean,
they got to figure it out on their own.
It's certainly not the dark years of the NBA or the FIBA or the Olympic basketball team when we had Duncan was your lead guy. Duncan was unfortunately on some of the worst USA basketball teams we had when they were still bronze medalists. But
that's a damn shame too.
Yeah, it's a damn shame.
Mr.
Duncan's
Fundamentals,
great, but it's so. This is what I've seen on Twitter a whole lot. People talking about it as more people defect.
Okay.
Sure, the roster is good. We do have a mixture of a couple of grizzled vets in there, and then we have some young guys. Who is the actual leader of this team? Like, who are you going to look to as your leader? Because Kemba's not necessarily a leader. He is, but he isn't.
I think that Kemba's going to play a big role in leadership. I think in terms of leadership from the locker room, I think Brook Lopez is going to play a big role. And I think PJ Tucker is going to play a big role. We kind of talked about those two guys already. I think that those two guys, in terms of locker room, being the older guys, being the grizzled vets, they're going to. And I think in terms of guard play, because of the fact that Kyle Lowry might actually play a pretty big role.
I mean, he just won a ring. Right? I mean, and he definitely helped lead that team.
Kind of.
I mean, he was the vocal one.
Yeah.
Because Kyrie.
I
tried to say Kyrie and Kawhi at the same time. I did it again.
Anthony, back at it again. Flex.
Kyrie. It's a long weekend for me. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Kawhi was like a silent leader. So Kyle Lowry. I'm actually a big Kyle Lowry guy. Most people are not. I really like Kyle Lowry.
I like him. It's just he is not really produced in the playoffs, so it's just like, eh.
Sure, I mean, he did this last year, but that's the big problem.
Kind of easy to do that with Kawhi.
That's true. That's the thing with this team, though, is like, yeah, like you and I can say like PJ Tucker, Brook Lopez have been, they're great. Brook Lopez has been on the the USA team for a while. Yeah. Kemba Walker's been on a bunch of USA teams. Like, he's always there.
Has he?
Kemba Walker's been on that team, I think, since he came out of college.
Okay.
Yeah, he's been there forever. He's been around for a long time. I want to say,
out of your ass again.
I mean, I usually do. Let's see. Kemba Walker.
That's kind of like our thing for the entire podcast.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a good thing that there's only
and then we wait for Cameron to call us out.
And then just don't answer.
Yep.
You're like, haha, I knew you'd say that.
I
think he's been on the USA basketball team quite a bit. I want to say.
Sure.
I'm pretty confident that he was there since like he won that title with UConn.
It would definitely make sense. To get on to the USA basketball, the scrimmage just happened a day ago.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this off air, but Blue beat White 97-78, and Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker combined for 31. They were on the same team. We had
they were on the same team. Yeah. I thought they were against each other.
Yeah. Tatum led all scorers with 17 points on 6 of 8 shooting.
That's a lot of fouls. It's a lot of foul shots he took then, or a bunch of threes. One of the two.
Yeah. So the Blue roster was as follows.
Mm-hmm.
We had Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, which he apparently is injured. I don't know exactly the extent of the injury.
I have no idea.
It's probably small.
Probably.
So listen to this, though. You had Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Kemba.
Okay. That's a nasty guard combination.
That's sick. We had Thaddeus Young, Joe Harris.
Thaddeus Young just got cut.
He did.
He got cut yesterday.
PJ Tucker, but I think he was technically on the roster when the scrimmage happened. He gets cut afterwards.
Right.
Because they did some cuts after the scrimmage.
Right. They usually do, yeah.
Right. We had Mason Plumlee, Miles Turner, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton, Kyle Kuzma, Harrison Barnes, De'Aaron Fox, Kyle Lowry, and Donovan Mitchell. Yo, that Blue roster is fucking stacked.
It is stacked. Yeah.
Now, here's the White roster. John Collins, Trae Young.
John Collins, that's the guy you went to school with, John Collins.
Yeah.
Huh.
He's hilarious.
Yeah.
He's not very good at basketball.
Is he not? He last time I saw John Collins, he was at Paparillos.
Dude, White roster was bad. I don't know why they did this, but okay, hear me out. John Collins, Trae Young, injured. I don't know what the extent of Trae Young's injury is either. Jared Allen, Jalen Brunson from the Mavs.
Oh, wow.
Torrey Craig, Jaren Jackson, Mitchell Robinson, Jonathan Isaac, Mikal Bridges, Marvin Bagley was on that team, and then Derek White as well. So basically what it was we're going to put all of these
NBA vets.
Yeah, established players versus you fucking rooks. Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So it's kind of crazy that Trae Young's not on this team.
Well, it says that he's injured, and I don't know exactly the extent of the injury. It would make sense that if he's injured, he's not. Dude, Atlanta's not going to want him to tested.
No, if he got
At
hurt, yeah, he just played 1 year and he's been playing all these pickup games that we're seeing on
That's
all his
right.
life. By the way,